Hey there, and welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. I am Dave Does, one of your hosts, and today we are going to be doing more Broken Down and Pulled Apart. This is the series where we take a song, we break it into sections, usually like intros, middles, choruses, verses, etc., and kind of talk about it. Usually this is done for songs that we've generally heard before, usually classic rock, classic metal songs. With the idea of trying to understand what made them so good, what still makes them so great as songs, and maybe talk a little bit about first time hearing it. Sometimes though, when it's the three of us doing the channel, it can be sometimes first time hearing it as well for some of us. But today's one is definitely not one of those. Today's is Guns N' Roses, and the song is Welcome to the Jungle, probably one of the most recognisable songs of theirs, or probably with the exception of maybe Sweet Child of Mine and Paradise City. But it is definitely a phenomenal track. So we're going to go play this one through. I don't ever remember watching the video for this, so this should be quite interesting from that point of view. But yeah, let's go check out someone. Welcome to the jungle, baby. You know where you are? You're gonna die. I wanted to do a very. I don't know why I looked there. The camera's there. I wanted to do a very quick stop there because the intro for this song is absolutely phenomenal. That intro there, that little bit of the delayed guitar. It's so well known, especially now when you see them play this sort of live. They delay the kind of start of the song. It's almost teasing you that it's going to come in. So it's well known. It's great. It's the build up, the scream of Axl Rose's screams. Now, Axl Rose is not what we would class as a phenomenal singer, but he is a very distinguishable singer, very much like Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. They are, and maybe Brian Johnson, AC/DC. You hear their vocals, you know it's them. There's not really anyone else that sounds like these guys, for good or for bad. So they are very much a selective taste. But at this era, when we talk about the Appetite for Destruction era, absolutely perfect for the sleaze strip of where they were going. Great look. I mean, obviously we're coming out the stage of the glam metal era of bands like Poison and stuff like this, and they've still got that look, the big feathered hair there of Axl Rose, but it's the attitude had changed at this point. This was more about the just all no holds barred, and I know the other bands like Poison and stuff were doing it, but you've got to remember that just prior to this, you were talking about bands like Def Leppard in the early 80s. And this was where these bands were being much more upfront. Def Leppard were a little bit more, apparently they were just as bad behind the scenes, if not more. But you've got bands like this coming through, and obviously bands like Motley Crue as well, obviously trying to give that level of sass and sleaze. But yeah, I absolutely love this. So let's kick into the verse.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the names? We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease. In the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring it to your knees? I wanna watch you bleed.
Sorry, I'm getting attacked here by ADK Dog. Hello, ADK Dog. Yes, you need to go lie down. Go over there. Go that way. Yes. Go lie down. Go lie down. I know you want to play. Maybe after the video we play. Okay? Good boy. Okay, I think he's just staying here with me. So, okay, so first. I think what's really funny about this is when you look at the band, it doesn't look like they are a coordinated band. They've got very different looks, whether you're looking from like Slash's point of view, Axl's point of view, and you look at all the other guys in the band, and they look like they should all be in different types of rock groups, but it works for them. But nowadays, you kind of look at this sort of lineup of band, and you think, well, what's the image? What's the stylization? So image was less of a thing back then, as far as, I mean, if you think about bands, as I mentioned, Poison, they all had the big feathered hair. They all had the same look. Whereas here, you've got Axl, but this time he's showing off tattoos in there, which you probably wouldn't have got with the others. I mean, you've got Izzy on there, who looks like more, he should be in more of like an indie rock 70s flower power like band with, hence like it's more baggier clothes. You've got Slash, who's just over the top gothic dark look. It's a really interesting look for the band, but it works, and we wouldn't have even considered it, but nowadays it is something we do consider with bands. We think about the look of the band, but let's keep going. So we get there, the mid solo of the song. Great again, because it's not like it's a big shreddy solo there. We're getting some nice little, almost an embellishment style solo, which is great. I love the classic Axl Rose dance moves, and you do get a lot of people mimics those in the sense of either parodying them or some people trying to get them on stage as well. So if you think of another one, would be someone like maybe like Sebastian Bach for Skid Row. Would have again been someone who would try to get those kind of moves in. But he was talking like when he did like the Serpentine, and he's doing all these snake moves, and he's basically trying to pull off like bad stripper moves on the stage there for Axl. So more from the video, awesome. But the riffs in this track, absolutely phenomenal. Drumming, I love. It's good classic rock. It's groove in there as well. Absolutely nothing wrong with this track, and it's so accessible. That's the great thing about this track, is it is easily accessible. Yeah, I think Axl Rose's vocals are, I never got into them when they first came around, but that's because I was 8 years old when this first came out. But when I did get into like the rock and the metal in the early 90s, and we started going backwards and started grabbing these albums, it took me a little bit of time, but luckily I was already into Megadeth at the time. So if I can get on with Dave Mustaine's vocals, I can get on with Axl. So, but yeah, I do understand why some people say like they don't get Axl Rose in his singing.
Welcome to the jungle, it gets worse here every day. You learn to live like an animal in the jungle where we play. If you got a hunger for what you see, you'll take it eventually. You can have anything you want, but you better not take it from me. In the jungle, welcome to the jungle.
Gotta say, love a bit of cowbell. There is definitely a little, is it a woodblock or a cowbell I can hear in there? It sounds like a big, deep cowbell, but it could be obviously a big chunk of woodblock. But I love that on that section. And it's unusual for it in a metal song for them to sort of throw things in there, but I absolutely love that. I love the drum play on this track. It's such a great fun one to play, doing covers of it. It's just, it leaves you loads of room, and you don't overly have to think about it. But there is some really nice simple fills in there that just absolutely add dynamics to the track on there. Now into this clean section, which is quite nice. It gives you a bit of a break from the kind of high energy performance that we've had so far. See, even that solo wasn't a really highly complex solo. This was all about feel, which is great. So it reminds me again of bands like or guitarists like Gary Moore, who very technical player, but didn't do loads of technicality in loads of his solos. He went for more feel. So there's a lot more expressionism in the solo. But it's the fact that the solo's following the line of like this got this cool bass line, doon 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 doon. So the solo's following the kind of main rhythm line there. I like the fact that you've got Axel's scream at the beginning of the solo is kind of trying to almost mirror what's going on, or the solo's trying to mirror what's going on vocally. I mean, it all works really, really well. And now we're coming into another great section. It's just kind of a little bit of a chaotic bit, but I would have loved to have understood when they came out of this section, when they were writing this song, when did they come up with the idea to do this next bit? Because this is just a really abstract transition, if you like.
You know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. In the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring it to me? Knees in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Feel my serpentine jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring it to your knees down in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring it to your? It's gonna bring you down.
So what's great about that track is when everyone. So I've seen this being performed live, and so I've seen it performed live by tribute bands and by cover bands and stuff like that. If you haven't got the high energy, you haven't got the high octane performance that goes along with this song, and you just play the song, it's really boring. So it's a great track to listen to, but when you're watching it live, you need that kind of dangerous energy from the band. And I really enjoy it. I know it's that coming out of that drum part in the, whatever you want to call it, late mid transitional period. Da 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 ba 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 ba. Welcome to. It's great. It just builds that da 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 da. That naturally giving you this big crescendo up to the outro. And it just makes you, and you know when that snare hits and it all just kicks in, you just want to jump. Now in today's metal pitch, you'd have a big circle, hit a wall of death, and then go crazy. But this is hard rock. Let's be clear. This is basically a hard rock track. When we talk about the world of metal, back in the day, this would probably be classed as metal. Now it'd be classed as very classic metal, but over sort of like 40 years old. But now, if you compare it to what we class as nowadays metal genres and subgenres and subcategories, whether it be thrash, etc., this is hard rock. But that's no bad thing. It's just a lot easier to balance because metal's just got so extreme with these 7-string, 8-strings, EDM crossovers and everything else. It's crazy where it is now, but it's best to know it's hard rock. But it's a phenomenal. I mean, to be honest, Appetite for Destruction is a phenomenal album as well. And that's why it's always in one of the top 100 greatest albums of all time. It's kind of interesting to see, was it Steve Adler on drums, obviously, before he got himself all pretty much messed up. But you look at how just energetic and energy. I mean, it's great he's still doing drumming, but it's a word of warning for people to not go into the excesses, because Guns N' Roses were an excess band. They were into drinks, they were into drugs. And it messed them up, and you can see that on later albums. They went from basically nothing to meteoric stardom very, very quickly, to the top of the scene, and then crashed. Basically crashed within a 5-year period. That's a very short period of time for a band to go through that level of cycle. So yeah, interesting to see, go back and look at Guns N' Roses. And as I said, I've never actually watched that video, so good to check it out. Let us know what you think of Guns N' Roses in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.